Hey, Cub fans! Thanks for joining us here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. Cubs just lost to the Diamondbacks 4-1. Pretty anemic offensive game for the Cubs. Not a whole lot of action. But let's go ahead and go through it. Let's start with the starting lineups. Another starting lineup that should resemble the opening day lineup, pretty close anyway. I think the piece of information that I'll start with is Patrick Wisdom. I mentioned to you guys a few days ago that Patrick was scheduled to come back and be in the lineup today, and he was, but he was a last-minute scratch. I guess he had warmed up, and during the warm-ups, his back tightened up again, so he scratched. So at this point, Patrick Wisdom's opening day availability, I think, is in question. We'll have to wait and see. So Patrick Wisdom was scratched. Lineup went like this. Nico Hoerner led off playing second base. Seiya was in right field hitting second. Cody was in center field hitting third. Christopher Morel was back at third base hitting fourth. Dansby at shortstop in the 5-hole. We had Ian in left field. So I kind of thought maybe they would DH Ian a few games to ease him in, but Ian was in left field tonight hitting sixth. Yan Gomes catching, hitting seventh. Michael Bush at first base hitting eighth. And Dominic Smith, got the start at DH hitting ninth. So we just got the one run, and it didn't come till the seventh inning. We got the Diamondback pitchers pretty much had us held down the whole night. But Jorge Alfaro came in, got a 2-out first pitch double down the right field line, and then Jonathan Long came in and just hit a seeing eye ground ball between second base and the first baseman to score Alfaro for an RBI single. So just the one run, not much to speak of offensively, but let's just go through each of the guys, and I'm going to start with Nico. I ran the guy's numbers because I was thinking about Nico Hoerner and how lately I've been telling you he just has not looked good. And he didn't look good tonight, but he came into tonight on the spring hitting 171 with an OPS of 365. Now, before I get into it, I know it's just spring training. I know the numbers are what they are. Small sample size. In fact, we've got, Seiya's got an OPS at this point of about 1,500. We know that's not going to sustain itself, but at the same time, I've been talking about how Nico looks at the plate. He just hasn't looked good, and he didn't look good tonight. He looks uncomfortable. He doesn't look confident, and I feel like he's over swinging. I feel like I use the word in my head, flailing a little bit. So Nico goes 0 for 3 tonight with a pop up to second base, a fly out to left field, and a strikeout swinging late. And coming in at 171 and didn't look good tonight. His slash line for the spring is hitting 158 with a 179 on base, 158 slug. Guys, it's not good. And at this point, I'm starting to get worried about Nico. He just doesn't look like a guy who came off the season that he just had, who should be a veteran. He just does not look good at the plate. Take the numbers out. The eye test is what I'm talking about. He just does not look comfortable. Now, the reverse is true with Seiya Suzuki. He continues to look amazing. In fact, I mentioned to you guys on the last video that it seems like Seiya Suzuki has not made an out in like his last 6, 7, 8, 9 at-bats, and that's the case. I think in his last 10 at-bats, he's only made 2. So he gets a double in his first at bat, and I'm talking about a solid, barreled up line drive to left center field, and he just looks awesome at the plate. In his second at bat, he draws a walk. So his at bat, there's no jeopardy in his plate appearances. You never feel like he's struggling. So he went 1 for 1 tonight. So he came in with a 444 average and a 1.409 OPS. and he added to that tonight. So Seiya just looks awesome. And it's still tonight. Again, if I take the numbers out, I don't need to see the numbers. Just watching his at-bats. And it's kind of it was interesting watching Nico hit and then Seiya hit because they were two polar opposites. Seiya's at level of confidence that it couldn't be higher, and Nico's just searching. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy watching those two guys go back-to-back. Belly came in. He went 0 for 3 tonight. He struck out looking twice. Christopher Morel went 1 for 3. But Christopher Morel hit a ball tonight, his single. Line drive right back up the middle. And Christopher hit this ball so hard that it made me flinch, literally. He hit this ball right back at the pitcher. It was just a little bit to the left of second base. But off the bat, it was about 4 feet off the ground. He hit it flush, and it was headed right for the pitcher, and it made me flinch. I was, oh! Just I don't know what exit velocity is. They don't have the numbers up for us in spring training. But he just hit this ball hard. So it was about 4 feet off the ground all the way into short center field. He crushed it. So Christopher Morel looks fine. He came in hitting 300 with a 981 slug or OPS and went 1 for 3 tonight. So he's fine. And even better news, he looked good at third base again. He had a good game at third base here recently. Tonight, all the routine plays, step and throw. He didn't seem unsure. He looked really good at third base, Christopher Morel. Dansby came in tonight hitting 222 with just a 545 OPS. And Dansby hasn't looked good either. I haven't really talked about it, probably because Nico has got me all flustered. But Dansby went 0 for 2 tonight with 2 called third strikes. So Dansby's he's not looking great either. Then Ian came in, and Ian went 0 for 2 tonight with a ground out to first base unassisted, and he popped up to the catcher, foul ground. And so Ian didn't look that great. So it's kind of interesting. We've got, of the potential starters, we've got Nico, Dansby, and Ian Happ, who numbers-wise aren't great, and even at the plate, they just don't look great either. And then on the other side we've got Seiya and Bellinger and Morel, Yan Gomes and Bush is doing well. So we've sort of got the guys doing really well, or about 3 guys doing rather poorly at this point. Yan Gomes comes in hitting 320 with a 920 OPS. Yan goes 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Michael Bush came in hitting just 242, but his OPS is 869. So he's been hitting the ball hard. And Bush walked and grounded out to third. He went 0 for 1 tonight. But Michael Bush looked good at first base tonight. I still haven't seen enough of it to know really what to expect. But he made a couple of really nice plays. And so I'm gaining confidence watching Bush play first base. Dom Smith came in, went 0 for 3, but the 0 for 3 doesn't I don't think it describes what I saw at the plate. First of all, his last at bat, he had a line drive to the second baseman right on the screws. He hit it hard. He hit it flush. And he struck out looking, and he flew out to center field in his first at bat. But all of his bats were really good. First 2 at bats were against lefties. And the ball that he hit to fly out in center field, he put the barrel on a slider that was just off the outside edge on a lefty. And I'm just telling you that Dom Smith is 0 for 3. Take the numbers out, knowing what we saw, Dom looked really good tonight. He came in hitting 400 with a OPS over 1,000 too. So we'll see where we go with that. Total, we had 6 hits, walked twice, and struck out 13 times. So it was pretty anemic. Some of the replacement guys that came in late, Jacob Wetzel came in, got an at-bat, grounded out to shortstop. Canario got 2 at-bats tonight. He went 0 for 2, grounded out third baseman, and flew out to center. Juan Mora came in, got a single. Jefferson Encarnacion got an at-bat, struck out swinging. Miles Masterboni singled. He had a line drive over the shortstop's head and So Miles had a hit tonight. He also had a strikeout, so he was 1 for 2. Bodie came in. It looks like maybe David Bodie has cooled off a little bit. He goes 0 for 2 tonight with he fouled out to the catcher and grounded out to short. Alfaro had that single that started the scoring inning, and then he struck out in the ninth swinging. And Jonathan Long had that RBI single. He got another at bat later, and he struck out swinging as well. So that's the offensive side of things. Let's talk about the pitchers. I'm going to say there's good news in it. Kyle Hendricks started through 84 pitches. He went 4 2/3. He gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, struck out 3. And it all happened in the 5th inning. So I'm not going to say he cruised through the first 4 innings, but he was good. He was working on his stuff. He was working on his curveball, and he was really he was dotting the corners pretty well. He was inducing light contact, so very Kyle-like through the first 4 innings. And then all of a sudden, they started to turn that pitch that was on the corner into some base hits. And I guess that's the part that I guess is in my mind that I'm trying to articulate to you guys is his lack of velocity. It looked like at some point when the hitters started to see the movement and the location, they were able to just put the ball on it or the bat on it. And I guess that started to worry me a little bit because he has to be so fine with it. He has to be so true with his pitches, which he can be. But in that 5th inning, when he starts missing just a little bit, they started to jump on it. So he gave up 5 hits in that 5th inning. So his numbers for the spring are 16 2/3 inning pitched with an ERA of 6.48. Better news. But Kyle wasn't unhappy with it. The interview that Kyle did after the game, he was working on some stuff and he was happy with it. And again, he did go through 4 innings, and the Arizona Diamondbacks hitters weren't drilling him; they were just putting the bat on the ball. So we'll have to see. But Hayden Wesneski comes in the 5th and gets Kyle out of it. He pitches the 6th as well. So Hayden went an inning and a third, just gave up 1 hit, and Hayden looked pretty good. Luke Little was fantastic. He pitched an inning. He pitched the 7th, struck out 2, and he was throwing that fastball up and away, that arm side run, and just gassing it. And so he was locking guys up pretty good. Fastball up and away to righties and throwing that slider down low and in. Luke looked really good tonight. And it was like another dichotomy between him and Kyle, because Kyle is so precise, and then Luke came in, and it was like, I'm telling you what I'm throwing, and I'll see if you can hit it. And it was fastball up and out, and it was slider down and into righties. So Luke looked really good tonight. Colton Brewer came in, maybe looked better. Colton pitched an inning. He pitched the 8th, struck out 3. All 3 guys he faced. And his curveball and slider, whatever he's calling it, that was his out pitch on all 3 of them. He was spinning the ball tonight, Colton Brewer. Then Joe Nahas came in, pitched the 9th, gave up a hit and a walk. He looked fine, spiked a few into the ground, kind of struggled through it. But Colton Brewer and Luke Little and Hayden Wesneski in relief look really good. So that's the good news. We've got the A's tomorrow, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Adbert's getting the start. When I first saw that, I was a little confused. Okay, why are we starting Adbert? I don't know, but I doubt that I don't know. We'll have to see, but I'm curious if the thought that hit my head was this. I'm wondering if they're going to give Adbert a try as what's that? You know how they use the closer in the early part, the opener. I wonder if that's what it's going to be, or are they going to try to stretch him out to go 3, 4, 5 innings? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'll check it out for you and let you know. But Adbert scheduled to start the game against the A's tomorrow afternoon. So, all right, that's it. The Cubs lost the D-backs 4-1 tonight. Hopefully we'll do better tomorrow. And I appreciate you guys checking me out here at Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. And I'll talk to you after the A's game tomorrow. Go Cubs, go.